welcome back to my channel. For today's vibe, we're going to do I think I'm going to combine my October and November TBR, because when I look at all the books that I want to read, I know it's not going to get done in 1 month. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to combine everything that I want to read. So let's get started. So In the Grave by B.B. Reed, I'm still reading. So this is going to be part of my October, November, because I'm 40% in, so I'm not done. It was on my TBR for last month, and I started it. I just, like I said, I'm not finished. So it will be for October and November. But I am having a really good time. You'll see my full review when I do my wrap up, but I am having a good time. Now, I don't know about y'all, but for me, when I think of October, November, yes, I do think of spooky season, but I also think of warm, cozy vibes, right? But I also think fantasy. I don't know what it is about October, November that just gives me fantasy vibes. So with that being said, I will be trying to read Blood at the Roots by Ladarian Williams. Excuse me, I know nothing except that it's giving black boy magic, and that's really all you need to know to even start reading it. And since I did say that this is giving me fantasy vibes, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work in categories. So In the Grave by B.B. Reed is what I'm currently reading, so that's why it's on here. Blood at the Root, that's fantasy. We're going to keep it going with fantasy. Legendborn by Miss Tracy Dion. This book, I had bought all 3 books. I just haven't. I started it when I very first got into reading. It was like a year and a half ago. And I think I just bit off more than I can chew. You can even see, I don't know if you can see, like, kind of stain. Like, she done been through some things and I ain't even read her for real. So with that being said, I probably got to chapter 2 and gave up, because when I first picked it up, I bought it because black girl magic, of course. But it's a thickie. And at the end of the day, I was very unfamiliar with fantasy. I knew nothing. So me trying to read fantasy for my first thing that I jumped back into and I start back reading, I think that was just crazy. But I really want to read the series, but I don't want to put the series on here just for 1 month. I know I won't do that. So we're going to try to finish the whole series for October and November. So starting off with Legendborn. And I don't know, I wouldn't even count this a reread, because like I said, I think I got to chapter 2 or 3. I know nothing. So sticking with fantasy still, Enigma. This is a dark academia romance with blue edges, which is why I bought it. I didn't know what it was until I bought it. And this is by Runix. There are secrets she must uncover, and there are secrets that he must keep. And I'm going to undiscover these secrets while I'm reading it. Thank you. This book, you already know, this book had, if you on Book Talk, you got a lot of controversy behind her. Alchemised by Cinnamon Bookstore. Let me tell you from my understanding, Manacled was a HP fanfic. I don't support that lady, so she won't get no clout off my space. But it was a HP fic. I did not read it because I don't know anything about HP. Now, from my understanding, Alchemized is a completely rewritten work of art. It has nothing to do with Manacled. It has nothing to do with HP. That's just point blank period. They're not related. They're not sisters. They're not cousins. They're not nothing. So I will be reading Alchemized. It is a dark romance, but on the other end, I'm saying that this is a lot more than just dark romance. I heard that it's triggering, so check your triggers. I'm going to say it every time. I don't check triggers because I don't have them, but any book I recommend, read the triggers, because it could possibly have triggers. And from my understanding, this has a lot of triggers. This is also will be the biggest book in my life that I have ever read. This book has 1,025 pages. Yeah. Another reason, I don't think I can read 1,025 pages in 1 month. Well, you know what? I'm nothing if not a liar. If I read 3 books, that's 900 pages. Okay, I'm gonna read her. In the fantasy realm, but now we're getting into dark, like a little bit. So this is Immortal Dark by Tigist. Lost Heiress, a soulless vampire, and a secret drenched in blood. That's all you need to know. The fact that it has something to do with vampires. So it's going to fit the vibe perfectly for October. I'm going to try to get this in October. Most of these books are October, November. This, though, is October. Alchemized, I also want to read for October specifically. Then we got The Reformatory by Miss Do. I'm saying that because I do not want to butcher this lady's first name. This book, I'm super excited. This is also going to be an October book. This is a historical fiction, but from my understanding, it's like, so this book, from what I know, is about like the Jim Crow era, and I guess this boy gets sent to the Reformatory school where he endures a lot. Like, Jim Crow era is really all we need to know to understand that he's gonna go through hell and back in high waters. We already know, but from my understanding, it made like a lot of people feel just disgusted and gut wrenched, and just a lot. And I'm super so excited to read this. I'm gonna be buddy reading this with some of my book besties. And we got Brother. This is Brother by Ania Albon. All I know is I got this from Brit and her books off TikTok. This book shook her to her core. It had her speechless. It had her disgusted. She loved this book. She said this is one of the best thriller books that she read of all time. That's saying something. So I will be reading this in October. So just know it's a thriller. So for our last thriller for the month, or for the TBR, is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. And I also a book that I had tried to read and I had put back down. It's about Monday. Monday goes missing. Nobody cares. People act like, if I'm not mistaken, somebody had said, have you seen Monday? And the person said, who? And it was a person who knew who Monday was. Yeah. I feel like that's very telling, like in the real life. People don't care when a little black girl goes missing. But the one person who does care is her best friend. And best friends are so important for things like that. I always tell my best friends, like, I need to hear from you. I would be the first person to know that you're not okay. Yeah. I'm gonna reread this because again, this was also in the beginning of my reading journey. And I feel like now, type of reading I'm trying to get into, I think this will be really, really good for me. And the last 3 books on my list for my TBR of October and November is going to be all of the Lauren Gilmore books. So we got the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the Cinnamon Bookstore, and the Strawberry Patch House Pancake. Oh my gosh, Strawberry Patch Pancake House. So yeah, I do want to read all 3 of these between the month of October and November. Because they're all romances in 5 different areas. And I'm down with that. As a person who, like, when I read, I have to break it up. So if I read a dark romance, I might can read 2 back to back. But after a dark romance, I might need a little urban fiction. I might need a little fantasy. Just something to break it up. So with that being said, these are all for my TBR. Oh, and there are some things that I didn't mention because I'm still reading them. Currently still reading Dragon Republic for Poppy War. Like I said, I'm still reading BB Reed. I want to say it's the 3rd. I started Binding 13. I went on a trip to New York recently, and I do have a vlog coming out about that. On a trip to New York, while I was on a plane, I was kind of just back and forth between those 3 books. Because that whole trip was like, not the whole trip, the beginning of the day trip was a mess. So yeah, I was just between 3 books. So I might add those to these videos just so y'all know I am reading them. But if I know I'm gonna finish BB Reed. But as far as Binding 13 and Dragon Republic, I will finish Dragon Republic. As far as Binding 13, I don't know if I'm even going to read that because I really wasn't in the mood for it, but it was already downloaded to my Kindle. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, all the books that I have for my TBR of October and November. What's on your TBR? What do you plan on reading? Have you read any of these books? Do you want to read any of these together? Because we can message now. That's another thing. Like, y'all, if any book on here that's on your TBR and you're like, oh, I read that too, let me know. Let's get this started. We gonna keep each other accountable and we gonna get the reading. Because I love having someone to talk to about these books. But yeah, let me know what's on your TBR. And until next time, bye. So this is gonna be my thumbnail.